And hello to all of you, TikTok fans and followers, friends and family, and my good old, where am I at? YouTube. Thank you for being on here. You know, I have this unfinished project that I need to be working on, so that way I can finish this and move on to the next project. This is a bit challenge because I have been busy and crochet is always my last priority. So I have no hurry, but I wanted to get it done. So it's the principle of starting a project is that you have to get it done. Okay. Though I make good progress, it's not as fast as I would like it to be because between work and cookings and taking care of family members and a few other things. So, but this is, like I always saying, that this is considered an occupational therapy is a therapy for people who working too much, I think. What do you think? You think that this is occupational therapy for people who work too much and need some time off so that they can have some, so that the person can have a free day of not have to work but just enjoy? So, well, let me know how you feel about that. And TikTok, let me give you heart. Yes, there you go. Send heart. How difficult is it for you to like press the heart? You don't have to send me any gift. I don't want any gift. I just want some heart. Yeah, who do I have here? Hello to all of you. Say hi to all of you as well. It's Sunday. What would you like to talk about? Nope. Remember when I'm on cooking live streams and I don't have time to respond back to your comment and visiting with you? So I do dedicate a day or two of my day, of my night, so that way I can be here to find out how is everybody doing. Happy Sunday. Good morning to you. Good evening if you are where you at. Over here is about what time now? No, it's about what's the time? Oh, it's almost 6 o'clock. Okay. Yeah, I'm sending myself heart. How about that? I love myself, so if you guys don't send it, I'll send it myself. They work the same way. Look at that. Hey. And how are we doing? Say hi to Selma. Hello, Selma. How are you? How's family? And Bodis, how are you? Bodis, say hello to you too. And HE3 HAKOMKA. I wish I know how to pronounce that. You know that I'm not good with pronunciations. But welcome. Davi Mothi. I have a daughter who named Davi. Agnes. That sounds familiar. Hello, sweetie. How's the family? If the same Agnes from California, they're like family, beautiful people. So I have myself blueberry infused cold drink today. It's refreshing. No sugars, no artificials, just fruits and ice and water. Yeah. So yes, I appreciate all of you. Say hi to all of you. And today, as you know, that I've been making these flowers here. Okay, I make good progress. Actually, last progress I make was last week when I finished 4 flowers. So I hope to finish 1 flower today in front of you. Okay, so I have this inner blossom ready to assembly. I also, oh yeah, I'm gonna make this this part here. These flowers, it looks simple, yet it's so many steps and so many divine steps. Will I be able to teach to anybody? I could. If you'd be interested, let me know, so that way I can write up the instruction again. Because right now, I literally have to learn this myself. There's no instruction book on the thing. I have to learn to figure it out myself. It's not all that great yet. Okay, to me, I like something more challenging, and this is challenge that I'm able to come up with some amazing divine patterns already. Okay, but say to speak, it's still I feel like I'm not quite good enough, you know, because my work, I like my work to be neat and imperfections. So that's why when I do the next bouquet, it'll be a little bit different. Okay? Just because I'm already starting off with something like these, and I want it to make all of that similar. But I think in my next bouquet, I might make it a little bit different, because I have pretty much idea already how to make it look more realistic. Yeah. Sorry, that's my dog. So I just want to welcome. I know it's hard to see. Okay, my hold on. Let me bring you guys closer so that way I can read. Okay. I wish the print is big, you know, that way I can read everybody's name. David Muthia, I said hi to you. Hey, and welcome. Amal, where are you living from, Amal? I mean, where are you surfing from? Sound, are you from Turkey? Sorry, I'm just guessing. Okay. The thing about being on live is that we have tendency to live it from different part of the world. So our meridians of times are a little off and a little different. So it's difficult to really say where you guys, what time you guys at. Some people are going to bed, some people are just waking up. Well, for me, it's just in the evening. early evening. Actually, no, it's dinner time. I already ate. I already make food for my mom, so now I have time to do what I need to do with my project. I'm not cooking today. I have things that I want to cook, but then I feel lazy because yesterday cooking was a lot of cleaning. So, you know, the things about doing cooking show is that I think I said that before, is that it involved many steps. Okay, it's not like some of those content creators where they do nothing but either gossip or bring good news, bad news, or bring local, or they could just talk about gossip about celebrities, talk, they can bring current event informations that need to relate it to the communities or news about the communities. And someone been telling me that that's what I should be doing, you know. Instead of doing cooking, I should be doing content on the current event. And I tried that. It didn't really click, you know. I mean, I don't know. One thing for sure is that I can exaggerate. Because I fail on on that topic. You know, a lot of content creators, when they want a lot of views, they have to exaggerate about a lot of things, you know, to get people to tune in, to get people to set the ears on what they're gonna out, what the result and outcomes are. You know, or basically, if you speak of something true, something real, something that's supposed to be meaningful to somebody and it had no meaning to them at all, and you just be talking to yourself instead of bringing that to the world. I seen some content creators that are doing good. You know, I follow quite a few on the current event on the subjects of Cambodian border. What I Well, this morning when I woke up, I I tuned in onto the news and I see what's going on in Indonesia and Australia and what else are they protesting. So in Indonesia, um, you know, Indonesia is, I believe, I never heard anything bad coming from that region. Always respect that they're a peaceful nation, and they are. And it's people saying, you know, that Indonesian people are friendly and that they're kind, cordial, and respectful. And I wouldn't have anything to say bad about them because when my I don't have any family or friend. No, though I have people here in Las Vegas that are friend of my sweetheart. That they're from Indonesia and they're pretty good people. We got invited to their party and the food. Oh, some of the food are um, some of the food are delicious and look similar to Cambodian food. They have the chicken curry. They have rice. They have one of the fermented sticky rice dessert. So I was shocked because I thought that the fermented sticky rice was strictly from because um, that is only for Cambodian region or Thailand region. Um, so when I went to this family party, it was graduation party a couple years ago, and when I saw the fermented sticky rice, I was up. I was shocked. You know, I mean, I guess that's how small my worlds are. I didn't know enough about people, food, and culture. Um, and the fermented sticky rice in Cambodian, they call it, no, in Thailand, In Thai, it's called khao mak, and in Cambodian, I think it's called tapai. Okay. So, so when I saw tapai being served, I'm like, oh, wow. So this is how close their food, their cultures are. I don't know how close the cultures are. I know majority of them practice Buddhism also, but that's another thing we have in common. But to have the fermented sticky rice, so the process of fermented the sticky rice involving first have to clean, soak sticky rice like I did yesterday, and then steam it. Once when it's steamed, let it air dry, and then they add um, some sort of yeast. Okay, it's fermented yeast. I don't think it's regular yeast. I'm not sure. Okay, they have different kind of yeast. I'm sure that there is. So and then the fermentation involving kneading the rice and add the yeast. I'll say yeast. Okay, because it does look like yeast, and knead it so well with the yeast, and then leave the sticky rice, the infused sticky rice in a container or a jar, tight lid in the dark for a few days, at least 3 or 4 days, until the yeast breaking down the sticky rice and ferment it. And sometimes people add a little sugar just to get a feel of sweetness, but typically, yeah, I think so. I think they add a little sugar to it because the fermentation has this kind of aciding, almost like vinegar kind of taste, but it's not as bad. Okay, so it has some little sour taste to it, and the fermentation with the yeast and the fermenting process, it break down the rice. Okay, it break down the rice, soften, and it creates some sort of liquid that's similar to to wine. And if they leave it long enough, it'll turn into wine. And if it turn into wine, they call it sra tampai. So sra tampai is it's it's very pleasant. I sampled before. Okay, you can get drunk out of it also if you drink enough, because it has, once it's fermented, it it okay, it creates some sort of alcohol content, and it smells like alcohol. Probably is alcohol, and people can get drunk from it, right? But drinking up, but then it's not like vodka or anything like that. It had a really nice flavor, rice kind of sweetness to it. Okay, so I sampled that before the sra tampai, and then in the Cambodian outward words, if they said that you are tampai, it mean that you're just being an idiot. No brainer. Okay, tampai means like no brainer. And then I think Thai called lao to, lao si to, or something like lao to. And I remember when I was in Thailand, a few lady from the village brought the lao to over, and because I don't know, this is what I learned about people in Thai village. Okay, in Cambodian village also, I'm not gonna say one nation is it's better than the other. So what I learned is that alcohol became like a social norms for both country, especially among women, among women. So I noticed that women would go to work normal, on normal working schedule, but when she come home, she would stop by at the neighborhood store and get herself a shot of whiskey or something. So beers is expensive, especially imported, so they can't afford it. So what they do is that they settle in with rice wine, which is very typical for that people from that region. Okay. The booze, the homemade booze, are strong, but it's natural. You know, I mean, through the fermentation, the fermentation create this kind of wonderful. Um, it create a wonderful alcohol content. It's the longer the fermentation take, the stronger the alcohol volumes increase. So just like how the wine aging, I don't understand the whole process, but when I went to Vietnam, my ex-husband family, they do they do make home booze, so it's interesting because they use huge steamer, and it's connected to the fermented rice, and through the process of heating, I don't know. I'm just gonna say the way I understand it. Okay, so through the process of I'm sorry, it's itching. Um, through the process of heating the kiln or the urns, and it create the first they have to like boil the with two separate pots. I think one for the hot water, one is for the fermented rice. So when it's being heated, it create the evaporations and sweat. So the sweat drip into the bottle. So there's the first wave of dripping. So that would be like the strong portions of the wine, and then as it progress, it get lighter and lighter. So the flavor of the wine get lighter. So when they're done, do that they would mix the lighter flavor uh, um, to the stronger flavor, turn into liquid, a liquor, and sell it to the people in the village. Um, because in the country, uh, there's no wine, red wine or grape wine, anything like that. Most of their wine and their booze are made out of rice. Okay. No barleys, no corns. I don't know if they make any from the sugars or not. Okay, sugar cane. Okay, so but it's interesting because people in that region, I don't know, they know how to deal with. I mean, they can produce like some of those amazing recipe. You know, I mean, I just have that admiration for them because how simple country were able to figure out how to make homemade booze, and they sell like hotcake. You know, it got everybody addicted to it. First, you have to make the product, whole party, like at the winery. You know, they do wine sample, so that's how they reel in people who like to drink. They have to offer like a nice glass of wine, Chinese and all that. And once you introduce to it, you like the flavor and what do we come after that? Okay. So I don't drink alcohol, but I've been around people who drink. My ex used to drink, and most of my parents used to drink also. I think that's what cost my dad life taking so short because he drink, and his side of family, they on my dad's side family, they drink. So I'm not saying anything bad for my family, but I'm just speaking the truth. Okay. I'm not ashamed of them. You know, I wish that they wouldn't drink so bad. So I mean, they drink on all occasion. They be drinking at funeral, drinking at birthday, anniversary. They be drinking in any kind of occasion. Okay, New Year, old, name it. So this is what I was told. Okay, is that we drink today only. I said, what day? Monday, Saturday? I said, no. We drink on the day that is raining and on the day that isn't raining. Hmm? Say that again. He said, we drink 2 days only. It's not Monday, Saturday, not Thursday, not Wednesday. We drink 2 days only. What day is that? Is that the day that it rains and the day that okay, so let's put simple terms. The rainy day and the non-rainy days. So meaning that they can be drinking every day. So my cousin on my dad, niece, and grandniece passed away altogether, 2 related alcohol syndromes. So that's how bad it is. You know what I mean? My uncle, my great aunt husband, he drank so much is that he collateralized his farm. I remember when my mom was telling me that she has to go and pay the money to the leasing agent to release the farm to them because they're at the verge of losing the farm. Because when someone uses farms or any kind of real property as collaterals and promise to pay back certain time and they couldn't meet their debt obligations, and you know how to go, right? For example, if you impound any kind of property of yours and they give you 30 day 90 day to pay it off, and if you don't pay it off then you have to keep making payment. If you don't meet your payment for so long, and they confiscate and they're put on the floors and trying to sell your product, right? The same thing with my uncle-in-law. He was losing his farm, so then because my mom had generated good money from selling the crop, so my mom, this is about 3 years before we departed Cambodia, losing our land to Khmer Rouge. We lost all that, and so in return, my uncle allowed my parents to use part of their farm to farm because they don't have money to pay my parent back. So in return for paying off and paying off the farm for them, is that my parents get to farm on their land for 3 years. And my parents only been doing that 1 year of that farming. So that's why I remember when my dad, I know that we have 2 farms, different area. So during the farming season, my dad would go to, we live in the farmhouse. We'll leave the village and go to the farmhouse. I think he with a heart. And then my dad would till or sow or what have you, and once this farm is done, we close down the farmhouse and he will migrate to another side of town. It take a few hours on the oxen cart, have a day oxen cart to get to another side of town in the same province, different town. And then my dad was settled for that season farming. And I remember that I have to go distant further to bring my dad lunch during lunchtime. I remember that first year I have to go further in the middle of rice fields somewhere in a small province. And I never understand why dad working so far away from home, because we have farm adjacent to the village, so we don't have to go very far. But I didn't know all that until my mom told me not long ago that we just have conversation about my dad family. So that was brought up in the conversation that my uncle, he not only just um, alcoholic problem. It was the gambling problem also altogether between the alcohol problems, because I don't know how a person would drink so much and that out of money, out of property. That was that was too much. Okay, so but then my mom was saying that not only just that he was drinking, he was he was gambling too. Because Cambodian they do cockfight, cockfight. The boy hen, the boy chicken, the rooster, um, and that's their one of the very like some of the male person would do at the village where they challenge each other with cockfight. Yeah, they bring all kind of fighting hand, and and they make bet on it. So my uncle, he he lost too many bet on it. So when he lost too many bet on the cockfight, he started to collateral his farm. So when he collateral his farm, he no longer able to grow crop and grain to feed his family. So the family suffered a great deal. And because my mom and dad, I don't think my dad gambled. I don't remember he gambled. So, but they have money from selling the crops and overall. So then my dad went to pay off the debt for my uncle, and my uncle said, okay, that my dad can farm on their land for a few years to pay off the restitution. And we did that only 1 year, and Khmer Rouge taken over. We fled to Thailand, and that was that. My dad lost his farms, both of our farms, our house at the village, everything that we have in possession is gone. So why I'm doing this, I'm saying this, I'm not deforming my family, anything like that. The alcohol play a big demise in certain family. I know in America, people who addicted to alcohol or drug, sometimes they lost their home, they become homeless too, along with mental health issues and other issues that they can no longer take care of themselves. So I'm saying that, I mean, any class, any group, any nations do face with some sort of turmoil in their life. So sometimes it's self-inflicted, sometimes by nature, sometimes by political, sometimes it just so many things. God, making um, the middle petals of my flowers came. So I'm saying that alcohol destroys. If and when my uncle came to America, he was already very ill, and he died just shortly after we came to America. And then a few years later, not a few years later, maybe 10, 15 years later, followed by two of my two sisters pass away. And then my other cousin and my other baby cousin, and just keep following, with related alcohol issue. But that's not enough to really influence anybody as a whole. The alcohol consumption is still going on, and in the midst of this chaotic. So that's why I learned that alcohol is not solution to our problem. It just add on to more problems, and that's why I I witnessed my parents, they drink alcohol too, you know, especially my dad. So my mom still does once in a while now that she got older. So I'm just telling her that she needs to watch for her health. And she'd be saying that, oh, I'm old already, you know, let me enjoy myself. You know, that's always like the lame excuse, you know, to tell someone, you know, when they care for and they say that, oh, let me enjoy myself because I live my life already. You know, the consequence is that, okay, you enjoy yourself, but when you don't feel well, who take care of you? Have you thought about that? No. That's why when some people told me that, oh, I'm old, let me take care, let me enjoy myself. So yeah, you can enjoy yourself. If something happened to you, then you take care of yourself too. That'd be fair, right? I'm speaking the truth, guys. I don't know about you guys, but I mean, in the family, we had all sort of issue. Okay, my family are not perfect, but for sure that alcohol is very prominent in my family, especially on the paternal side of family. It seems like alcohol is like a big thing because they live in a community where social gathering is like a normal activities because you live in a community where celebrate birthday, graduation, wedding, anniversary, death, and so far and so forth, and holidays. So, I mean, celebrating with alcohol is always like a thing. You know, I don't understand it. For me, I feel that especially during the morning is that we should refrain from having alcohol, but it's okay to celebrate wedding or anniversary or birthday or graduation, you know. But for funeral, I feel a bit too much, but who am I to say, right? But anyway, so that's my side of family about alcohol consumption. Um, and it started with me saying that when I was visiting my family in Thailand and Cambodia, I noticed the same way. You know, I mean, people, my family drink. They'd be surprised when they found out I don't drink. It's that they look at me and they start laughing at me, and say, I'm okay with that. I I just want to spend time with my cousin. Though I don't drink, you know, I'll sit down and enjoy the food with them and spend the time with them because I haven't seen them for years. I mean, since 1974. That's a long time. Okay? So it's like 50 years. So for me to spend some time with my cousin. So they know I don't drink. So then first they wanted to force me into drinking. And I tell them that would be a mistake. And so don't try it with me. So, so I pay for some of their drink. You know, I mean, because I don't drink doesn't mean I don't help. I can't sit here and say that, well, I don't support people who drink. You know, I treat them. You know, because I don't drink. I doesn't mean that I don't treat them. I treat them. You know, I give them dollars and go get plenty of drink and bring me back some fruits. That's all I'm asking. But then again, you know, I mean, it's a social norms where drinking alcohol or alcohol consumption is part of the culture practice. Maybe not culture practice, I take it back. It's just in societies where people choose to indulge themselves, you know. I mean, first they said that rich people can afford alcohol, but then I know rich people can afford expensive alcohol, and people are less fortunate can only afford cheaper brands of alcohol. Either this is what my thought on alcohol. You let me know how you feel about that, because to me, whether it's expensive alcohol or cheap alcohol, it's all alcohol. Okay, so it'll get a person drunk, it will get a person intoxicated, it will cause a person in a harmful way if the person prolong in using it. Okay. I mean, I have them in my family, you know, so I'm not going to say that it's all perfect. It's not. You know, we all have them, sadly, because through years of consumptions, and the outcome of the years of consumption is that it brings such a bad outcome, you know. That's why I always be talking to my kids, and my kids say, "We're not crazy, Mom. Oh, a crazy day done. When we were younger, when we're clubbing, we like to drink and all that. Now we have kids, we don't do those things. We once in occasion, you know, on birthday or what have you. And yeah, I saw them celebrate with some they would go to a little bar and have them cocktails. Yeah, remember when it was the daughter's birthday, it was birthday here. So she has two good friends that's like the bestie. So these three, they like to celebrate things together. So I got invited to their gathering, just three of us, four of us, four with me. So they went to an oyster bar, and I think they got too many drinks. So they got so they couldn't drive home. So I ended up driving all of them home. I think I said that the other day. And when they all woke up, one of them forgotten where the phone were, and we have the phone, and they have to get Uber to get the car back from the garage at the casino hotel. And someone said, "I'm sorry, Mom. You mean we just had too much of one shot." I said, "I know. It's okay. It's a special occasion. You took your girl home. You're all safe. That's all that mattered to me. You want to have fun, then have fun. I'm okay with that." Okay. So I put, so I'm just creating another flower. Okay, so I have this flower that I needed to assembly into this little part here. Okay. Well, the real flower, this part here is not that big, but don't matter. That's why I said the next one around, I'll make modification of it. It looks good though, you know. I mean, who cares? It doesn't have to be exactly like, oop. But I'm glad that I can refrain from alcohol consumptions, and in my life, it was one of a birthday where somebody spiked my drink. That's why I never leave my glass, or I never drink anybody drink, or I never take any kind of drink that offered to me, you know, because I'm not an alcohol drinker. So one sip of wine coolers, what have you, it'll get me dizzy. I'm not drunk, but then it got me a little dizzy, so I know um, that what was being served or being spiked into my drink. So that's why if I'm attending a party, I make sure that I pay attention to my glass and people they cheers and having a good time, that I can raise my glass and without alcohol in it, it's fine. But drinking alcohol is a choice, okay? It's not a it's a choice. We we have that choice whether we drink or we not, or we have the choice to say no, thank you, I don't drink. Or this is what I tell a lot of people, that if they're under a lot of pressure, just tell them that you're on medications, you're on prescriptions, that you can't mix alcohol. If a lot of my friends like that, they said that they can't resist the peer pressure, they cannot resist the temptation, or especially peer pressure and temptation, where so this is what I learned about people behavior when they're under influence. Okay, when the first glass they find, the second, the third, and when they get drunk, then this is where the weird behavior coming out of them. You know what I mean? Like, this is where the other side of a person behavior come out. And so there are a few kind of drunker. There's happy drunker, sad drunker, and what else? I just know that there's sad drunker and happy drunker, because some of my families are happy drunker, and they be talking and enjoying themselves and laughing, and the sad drunker would be reminiscing into like the old time, the thing that happened to them. They can talk about the issue, thing that had happened to them in the past. So soon as they're drunk, they were able to open up about the issue and cried about it. But the happy drunk were just happy because they had some alcohol in their system, so they'd be laughing and talk loud, and loud laughters and all that. And then and there's a bravery drunk. The bravery drunk is where a lack of common sense coming in. Okay, where a person would bring out their bravery. In other words, this is where they can bypass the shyness, or they being timid. They said that a lot of my Cambodian friends told me that if they don't have alcohol or they don't drink, they'd be too shy to dance, be too shy to talk to another person. So it's like a social drink rooms kind of person, kind of thing. So that's why when I'm around people who party in the Khmer societies, or Laos or Thai society, they were telling, even Vietnamese, they would tell me that, well, if I don't drink, I don't know how to have fun. Exactly, this is what they say. I said, I know how to have fun without getting drunk. And I don't know how you have fun with being drunk and can't even walk straight in line. So how do you call that fun? I call that out of line. But people like that, they told me that when they drink, especially the ladies, the shy one, they said that when they're drunk, they can get up and dance and enjoy themselves, enjoy the beats. I see all that too. It must be true, because Cambodian women are timid people, very shy, very respectable. When they start drinking, they bypass all that. Booyah. Because in the Cambodian cultures, women always have to be respectable. Women are not allowed to originally, in the olden day, I was taught that women are not allowed to be socially engaging with alcohol and stuff like that. That's the taboo for women. A woman who drink and drunkard, indications of improper and lack of manner, lack of manner mostly, or lack of cultural respect, because women cannot be behaving like men. They have to be properly raised up or with proper etiquette. They cannot drink, they cannot I should have done this before I tied it up because now it's harder for me to remember. I struggled last time. Okay. So now women living in America, they said that we liberated, we're not in Cambodia. We are not grandma and grandpa. We bypass all that, so we're not worried about we want to drink, we drink. So there's nothing that men can do. In fact, they join the men now, you know. Well, men can, what men do, women can do it too, just like joining the army. Joining the army is not just a men's job anymore. Women join the army too, you know. Same thing for army and drinking. So I saw a lot of changes in the Khmer society, especially in the woman. From that timid and shy and naive and submissive behavior to a little, it's okay. In my book, I'm writing about that also, you know, where women are being liberated, especially the one in Cambodia, where they been taught and been oppressed so many centuries that we don't have right, we don't have that equality as men. Men would be okay. So this is the term they used in Cambodian. Okay, they said that miệt thực độc. Miệt thực độc, they're saying that is the 10-carat gold. Okay, so 10-carat meaning that in a perfect yellow gold. So they said that men is like that, the 99.9% gold, the genuine gold. Okay, he said that, but the genuine gold doesn't matter whether they in the mud, in the fire, they still be genuine gold, right? For women, it's not like that. Woman's like dirt. So if she caught drinking or socializing, or she caught cheating, or she caught being unfaithful, or cook it as what it is, then she will be put to shame, you know, and subject to being abused and shames and blames and all that. And that's what brought to my conversations about women from that region, especially me who born in Cambodia, that how I was brought up too, because my dad didn't put me in school. You know, I was, at the time before we left Cambodia, I was already 11 years old. So at that age, I should have been already received some education, but because my dad felt that it was not necessary for me to get educated, but send my brother to the city to get educated, to my aunt homes in the city in Battambang, because my aunt was a little wealthier than, well, my dad had money too, but then because we live on a farm, so my dad doesn't have the same status as my aunt, because my aunt lived in the city, so she lived in a big house, boutique home. So looked like she's have money, so my dad sent my brother to live with her, and at the same time my brother was able to attend school. Well, what my dad could have done to the children is that he should have sent both of us to live with my aunt and go to school, or even allow me to go to school in the village. And there's school in the village, you know, there's a grammar school in the village. So it's what I don't like, this struggle through here. So that's why I said equality in Cambodia until recent year, where some American advocate, she went to do all that, to break all that barriers and create this humanitarian, human right, especially liberate the Cambodian woman, give her the equality. And the society didn't like it, because liberate Cambodian woman, meaning that she's not going to be submissive, she's not going to want to listen to men, she's not going to want to obey men anymore, and that she be subject to being self-governed. So in my book, The Rising Lotus, I do emphasize on certain topic in relate to women and be able to do self-governing, meaning that she can get herself educated, get herself familiarized with politics and with engage in civic duties and get education, you know, and be of equality. I don't know what's going on with this one. It seems like it's struggle with this thing. You know what? Because this has layer of wraps, so it shouldn't be this complicated, but for some reason it does have some complication. But I think what I do is that I will insert this before I tie it up, so that way I have enough room to do all this thing. Okay, this is just like mind-blowing. So I'm glad that Cambodian woman now is able to have voices in the societies, and that if she wants to get education, she can get education, and no men or no family members will stop her from achieving her goal. And I saw some Thai some women boxers, a lot of sports, women in sport, women in politics, women in leadership, women in business leadership. I like that, and own businesses. And you know, I saw this big trends of women now coming out from the shell, coming out from the what you call it, from the shadow of their ancestors, where women are not allowed to be anything but to be someone's wife and become someone's mom, you know, and render her service to the family. That was all the values for women in Asia. I'm not going to mention in China it is worse, you know, because the one-child policy during the population limitation or depopulations, it's like, you know, I don't want to go into it, but let's say that today is Sunday. Let's talk about what you guys been doing on Sunday. Did you go to church? Did you go to synagogue? Do you relax a lot on Sunday? So to do this, it's easier to insert this piece of wire here, because it's not complicated, but if I do this right, it shouldn't be complicated. But I'm just go ahead and crochet around it and to make stem out of this, okay, to make branch and stem out of this, and to create the accent to it. So this is the part that I'm creating right now. Okay. But as for me, coming to America was really a blessing for me, because if I'm in Cambodia, because my dad has money now, okay, just that he's not utilizing toward us. Because Cambodian, they believe in saving all the money and under the bed, you know, they're not using it. Because my mom was telling me that if we have not, if the Khmer Rouge hasn't taken over, my mom planning on buying tractor, and tractor is expensive, and not everybody can afford tractors. So when I heard my mom saying that, if the country had not taken by communists and that thing all well and fine, my mom planned on buying tractors because they have a lot of land that require that much of work because the rice paddies the rice paddy and the buffalo, what do you call it? What's the term I'm trying to say? Well, I'm trying to say that because my dad used the buffaloes and cow. No, we don't have buffalo. We have cow to pull the plows. Okay, but if my dad has a tractor, then the tractor have multi functions. It can till the earth. It can sow the seeds and harvest the grain also. So at those function, my dad literally can be self-boss, but because he already owned land, so if he has tractor, that would be able to get extra income from rental, and people would pay him to work on their farm. So that was my parent goal. So I said, so you guys have that much money? I said, yeah. Each season when they sold the crops, and my mom have money. So I said, then why we live so poorly? Why we live in a farmhouse? Oh, because we're farmer, we live in the farmhouse. But we have nice home in the village. It's just that we don't get to stay at the village long. My dad have two farms, and the village is quite distant from the farmhouse, from the farms. So it's not easy to go back and forth every day. So during the farming season, my dad would move all the kids and the family to the farmhouse and farms until it's done. Uh, once the farming is done, Dad will bring us back to the village so we can enjoy the village life and live in a home. But my dad will still be at the farm, caring and tender for the farm, because especially during the harvesting season, if my dad's not around the farm with the worker, and then when the wildfire come, it consume the farms, and then it will be a big loss. Or during the during the seeding season, sometime when the monsoon comes and it flooded the farms, and because the farm had a natural hydraulic systems, so when the monsoon come, that built a canal to trap the water for the whole season irrigation. In other words, the farmer in Cambodia relies on monsoon rain. If the rain don't come, meaning that there's no water and we don't have sprinkler system nor a pumping system. If we do, then we have to rent it, and we have to pump it from the distant water holes or even in the canal, and it can be expensive. And that's why it's important when the monsoon come, all the farmer would build a canal to trap the water and to tender the need for rice irrigation, because rice grow on marshland and grow in water. So when rice is about to be done, and the water have to be drained and allow the land to dry, so that way they can harvest the rice when the rice is ripened, when the crop is ripened. So I never understood the whole farming systems. I mean, it's not complex, but it is complex because those farmers really know how to deal with monsoon rain, how to trap rainwater, and either in the pond or the reservoir, or well, my dad have to build reservoir, so when the rain come, he not only trap it by the section of canal on the farm, but the rest of overflow water will go into the water reservoir, and my dad created is like a water hole huge water hole when my dad also raised fish and turtles and um, clams and lilies and stuff like that. So that's like self-reliance, because and my dad don't have to go fishing far away. So if we need fish, then we just go fishing or fish net at the pond, and there's fish and plenty and fresh. And then we'll do that like a daily thing because we don't have refrigeration. So having pond of fish in the backyard and the farm is efficient, because you just take whatever fish you need for the day. You don't have to refrigerate it. You know, I mean, that complex societies, I will say complex because a lot of Americans don't have that kind of implementation, increment, because I see the water reservoir here, they keep it clean minimally. I mean, at certain island where fish are being brought by the government, so that the people can fish and take the fish out from the reservoir or at the canals or what have you, and then impose on taxations and licensing. In Cambodia, there's no permit to catch fish or fish, because if you have a fishing net and a fishing pole or bamboo stick, what have you, spears, you can take as many fish, as many animals as you can carry home. But American, they impose on taxations and licensing, and not only pay for the bait and pay for the fishing pole, the fishing gears, and the license, and the limit to the size and the numbers of fish you can take home. Am I right? What about in your country? Do you need license to catch fish? In America, does. Only the indigenous people, they don't need license to catch fish. They can catch as many as they like and they need, so they can hunt for any kind of animals and feed the family. But the rest of Americans, or the rest of Americans and the immigrant have to pay licensing for it. So that is great also, you know, a way to preserve the resource. Cause, but then Khmer people never really have issue with depleting fish or anything like that. It's always plentiful, because with the Mekong and Tonle Sap, there's plenty of fish that coming from the ocean. And from the Tonle Sap, the river flow backward during the season where, I can't remember which season, where Tonle Sap water will flow into the oceans, and then certain season where the ocean water would get sent back, and like it's pushed back. So with that activities, it allow water to bring plenty of fish. So the kind of fish that can live both in salt water and in fresh water. I don't know. That does sound strange, right? But and that's what it say. You know, you don't believe me, you can read about it. There's an article about it. I remember my dad when his outbreak from farming, men in the village would form a pioneers of oxen wagon, would go to at a time where they go to the Neum I don't know where the Neum is. I think the Neum is like this big reservoir within Battambang, I think, or Neum. And there is where there's plenty of fish from the swamps and all kind of marine life there. So then this is time where they can catch all kind of fish and preserve and make um, preserve the fish and dry the fish and smoke the fish and grill the fish, what have you, and 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 make into fermented fish. So there's so plenty. So when the men return home, they will have enough provisional for the whole summer or the whole farming season, where women will not want to go farm anywhere. I mean, go fishing anywhere, but concentrating on farming. But majority of them have water reservoir where they already have fish and plenty of marine life to feed the family for the whole year without having to go fishing anywhere. So with that societies, I learned that self-sufficiency was like one amazing skill that people possess in the day. I don't know about American farmers. American farmer, they don't have water hole. They do have canals and canals and delta, and where the water being pumped into the farms. You know, but majority of Cambodian farmers in the land, they don't have pump. In the day, the pump is quite expensive. You have to rent it and to get to get it pumping. But then what they do, the smarter thing is that they have to capture and keep all the water that coming from the rain, especially the monsoon, when the monsoon comes. So the people already study the behavior of the climate in Cambodia. So what season to grow, what season to till, what season to do seedling, what season um, to do paddy, rice paddy, what season to trap water. So in Thailand too, I mean, so in Thailand, they're more civilization. When I visited my uncle farm, um, the King Rama IX, he was more the love of the, the Thai people, where he spent majority of his time with people. Okay, build the canal, build the water reservoir, expand expand the forestry, protect and preserve, and do small loan to the agricultural small loans, and build the canal, access water to the canal water and water holes. And so both of my uncle had water holes on their farm. So when the rain come, they trap the water hole, the water, and without water they can pump into the farm when there's no rain. So that help with irrigation. But when there's drought, then they suffer years. And when there's too much rain, then they suffer years also. And but King Rama IX, he was great with supporting his people and make sure that the life of of Thai peoples flourish and benefit from the land they have, with the support, the small loans and not small loan, the agricultural loans, and teaching people how to care and what crop they need to grow that will be benefit and that will generate money to help the family. And for example, my uncles, both of my uncles, they have farm. They do rice farm and the cassava plant. So they be making money year round. But that also depending on the rain. If the rain come too long, it will rotten the crop, especially the cassava plant, that are root plant, and sometimes that can cause issue too. Too much rain, too little rain, so it have to be in between. So this year when my uncle don't make any money from the crop because it destroyed by the drought, when they face years of drought, and when they face the flood, that affect both way. I remember when the year that we have to send money to support family in Thailand to sustain their loan, to help with their farms, and Yeah, that's why I said when I vacation or decide to go live in Thailand or Cambodia, I think Cambodia now, because I don't think Thai people want to welcome me because they're mad at Cambodian. Because on my passport it say I'm Cambodian nationality, so I might get in trouble in Thailand. They might not do anything to me though, because it show that I'm U.S. citizen. But I don't trust the process. So if Thailand does not straighten up and build their diplomacy and bring everything to and normalize everything, I won't want to be there anyway. I don't want to visit my family. But if I will have to move and live in Asia, it might be my hometown, my homeland. I don't have any land left, but I will look into my family. That's my that's my goal though. If I'm done with the responsibilities that's weighting me down right now, I can go live in Cambodia. With my retirement, I'll be comfortable. I'll be comfortable here too, but then in Cambodia, I will have more spending power because of the exchange rate. Same thing for my former mother-in-law and her husband. My former father-in-law, they live in Siem Reap. They moved there many years ago, and my former mother-in-law, she lived on her retirement, and both of them on retirement now at the age. So her retirement's only $1,200. She told me that she was able to rent a villa for $300 a month, and they live comfortable in a big house. Now here, if you retire at $1,200, you cannot even pay for a one-bedroom apartment. Yeah. So literally, that's why a lot of American, they live abroad, because not only they can't afford it, they just enjoy the life there, because I don't know. I can see that now. First my choice was to retire in Thailand with my uncles and my cousin, and with the things going on in Thailand, I don't know if they will be okay anytime soon. With the way things go, it didn't look like they're willing to compromise. I hope there's no. I'm just hope that the thing will go back to normal. But if it doesn't, then I'm never going to return back to that country again, because I won't be welcome, just like they did to that 13 years old. He was his mom married to a Thai man, and they were living in Thailand, and he was attending school. He was a excellent student, and he was a 4.0 student, and he excelled in all subjects. And so he got arrested in school one day, and they stripped off his uniform. That strip off student uniform in front of the teacher, taking his clothes off in front of. It was so sad, and force him to leave the country with his mom. I don't know where dad is, but then yeah, I know that they something like that in America too. Where they were going to the school and remove some of the immigrant students and send them home with their parents. Yeah, so Thailand is doing similar thing. So it's sad, isn't it? I mean, what can we do? It's all politic. So I applied for 10-year visa in Cambodia. So the visa, I can live in Cambodia for 10 years and then have to come home to renew my visa and a passport. So that's the nice thing about it. Anyway, so here I am. I'm gonna do just half of the stem, because half of the stem will not, because it's gonna be in a little basket, so I don't need to make a long stem for this. Okay. So as I'm speaking to you, I finished one flower right here. People ask me why. I would say occupational therapies. It helped with my my sanities. It it helped me stay focused. People say that when we keep our mind occupied and busy, that we have tendency to live healthier life because we free ourselves from the problem we have. When we do this, we basically pay attention to the detail, to the patterns. Like I did the other day, I was talking too long, talking too much, and I make a boo-boo, so I have to undo everything. Okay, and there go my fifth flower so far. It's coming slowly. It's coming. I'm telling you. Okay, it's coming. It's coming. It's gonna be beautiful. Okay. Yeah. Look at that. I got some leaves here too. I got 4 leaves so far. I can make some leaf for you right now if you like. Okay, so yeah, there you go. Imagine that when I'm done with all the 9 flowers and I put them into a crochet basket, and it'll be lovely. Okay, it'll be a lovely bouquet. And this bouquet here will go home with one of you. Yes, you heard it right. It's gonna go home to one of you. Okay, so show me your support. Show me you care, not because, and show me that you appreciate my work today. And go to my YouTube channel, Shavana Inn, and subscribe to my channels and leave me a comment there. Not during the live show, because live show won't allow me to keep my comment. Okay, you can do that on the real time after the live is over. Because I'm a new YouTuber, they don't allow me to keep my conversation for the live conversation. Okay. So I think I'm gonna create another flower today because it's Sunday. It's so beautiful. I don't want to do anything else but relaxing. You know, my grandkid is in San Diego. On his soccer tournament trip. I heard that he lost a few and won a few. So so this is what I learned about the true sportsmanship. Okay, you know that I don't watch any games at all. I don't like competitions. I don't like anything that have to do with winning or losing. Okay, I despise it because just like in war, same thing. You know what I mean? Because it's not cool. Because this is what I learned is that, let me count this one person. This is what I learned about the tournament is that they said that what you call it, the finder keeper, the loser reaper. So I learned that tournament can be cruel and unusual. Why? Because the winner will be celebrating, you know, and the loser like feeling bad and sad and feeling defeated. My grandson was doing, was in one of the fight tournament. So all of them, well, save for the little girl, so she's too young to be in a tournament. So my middle one, he was defeated in the fight in Muay Thai. So he was really sad. So I went over and give him a hug. I told him that he's doing great. He said, "No, I'm not." That attitude, because he was so angry that he was mad that he was disappointed he lost the fight.